Hello, welcome to this video. My name is Dave Adams, and today's video I'm mastering the Flexbox. So let's get right into it without further ado. So we have my HTML and CSS files set up right here, and I've linked them with the link tag. So obviously we're going to go right into coding. So I'm going to start off by commenting Flexbox. Okay. Now, what I want to do is to create a div with the class of Flexperience. So that will be done. Flex-parent. Good. We have our Flexperience. We're going to have some Flex children. Okay. So I'm going to create a div with Flex children because they're going to be multiple. Okay. So I'm going to have, let's say, 4 of those for starters. Okay. I'm going to highlight them. I'm going to select multiple. 1, 2, 3. Okay, good. So within them, I just want to have maybe a div called content. Okay, and within that div, I'm going to create numbers. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. So we have these, we have our Flexperience, we have our Flex children, and we have the content of our Flex children. Okay. So now we're going to go into our CSS. So Flex-parent, it's a class, so a period precedes the class. Okay. So for Flexperience, the most important thing is that we set the display to flex. That is when we actually activate flex. Okay. So that's the first important thing. Now the next thing that we have is the flex direction, which by default is a row. So we're going to still set that to row because we'll change it as we go on. Now for our flex children, so flex children, that is also a class. Okay. Now for our flex children, I want to have a background color of black. Okay. I also want to set the border. Okay. So 1px solid white. Now the border is a compound property for 3 different stylings or 3 different styles. So this is the border width, this is the border style, and this is the border color. And these are all individual styles that have been compounded into one. So we have the border color, the border width, and the border style right here. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of that. Also, I want the width to be 25%. So I want the width of my Flexperience to be divided into 4 equal parts and shared amongst the Flex children. Okay, so Flex children should have a width of 25%. Okay, now obviously I want the Flexperience to have a width of 100%. I want it to fill up the whole screen. I mean, in terms of width. And for the height, maybe I'm going to specify. Okay, I'll do that for the Flex children. Instead. Okay. So the height would be, let's say 300px. Okay. So let's go into our browser to see what is going on. Okay. Good. So this is what it looks like. Okay. Finally, for the Flex children, I'm going to specify that the color be white. Now color is for the text color. So we can go back and check, and we should have this maybe a bit bold. So font size should be maybe 28px. Yeah, good. And maybe it should be in the center. So text align center with our semicolon to terminate. Oh, and our curly braces. Sorry. Good. So we have this right here. Okay. Now for our Flexperience, I want a bit of padding. So I'll do just 10px. Okay. Also, I want it to have an orange background because why not? Black will look good on orange. So yeah. So let's do exactly that. Okay. Good. So now here we go. We have 4 items in our flex box, and they are all on the same line. They are horizontally aligned, okay, or they are horizontally arranged, sorry. So now we have our flex direction. Let's say we don't want them to be in a row, okay? We can make them a column. Let's see how that looks. So there you go. We have them arranged in a column, okay? Good. Now, if we want to reverse them, we can do column reverse, and it will start as 4, 3, 2, 1, okay? Same way if we wanted to do a row reverse, okay, it will start this way, 4, 3, 2, 1, same way, okay? So let's say we have a specified height for our flex parent, okay? So that height is probably 500 px, something more than the height of our flex children, okay? So let's leave the flex direction at row, okay? So what do we see here? We have some spacing underneath the flex children, okay? We want to center these children. What do? We have something we call align items center, okay? So as you can see, this has been centered vertically. So now the special thing about align, or what I'd say you can use to help you know how align items work, is it goes against the flex direction. So now it's in a row, right? The row is horizontal. So align items would center things vertically. Now what goes with the flex direction is what we call justify content center, okay? So for the align items, obviously it's not just center we have the flex end, flex start, and all that. So flex end is what we have here. Flex start is the default. That's what we had at the beginning, okay? So this is where it is. If I comment it out, it'll still be there because that's the default, okay? So let's say the width is let's say the width is 20, okay, 20% for each flex child. So we have some space on the right side. Like I was saying, justify content goes with the direction, the flex direction, which is row in this instance. So justify content center, okay? So we would have spacing on the left and the right sides. So that's exactly what we have here. So justify content, let's do flex end, okay? We have spacing on the left side now. So now I'm going to show you something, okay? Let's change this to a column, okay? Let's change this to a column. Now we have this, okay? So as I was saying, justify content goes with the direction, and align items goes against the direction. So now let's do align items, okay? Let's change it to center. Since it's a column and it goes against the column, now it's going to do horizontal centering, okay? So there you go. Now everything is centered in the middle because we have an align item center, okay? Now for the justify content, okay, that means we need, if align items centered horizontally, justify content is going to center vertically. So for our flex parents, let's say this time the height is what is 1,000, okay, and the height for each flex child is 100, okay? So good. So justify content is supposed to do some vertical alignment because we're in a column. So if I do justify content center, now it's in the middle vertically because it goes with the direction of a column, and the column is vertical. Okay. Now, if I want it to be flex end, okay, it will do exactly that. Same as flex start. That will be done as well. Okay. So flex start is always the default. So that's the distinction between justify content and align items. Anytime you need to center, just remember justify content goes with a flex direction. Okay, so if it's a row, it's going to center horizontally. Okay. If you then turn the row to become a column, now because it's vertical, justify content is now going to center vertically, and align items is going to go against the column and now center horizontally. So there you go for justify content and align items. Okay. Now, those are not the only things we have. So I'm going to go back to a row. Okay. Okay. So we have 4. Let's take this back to 25. Okay. So everything is, there's no spacing or anything. Now, one trick I use to create an illusion of space, right, in between these items is padding. So what I normally do with the flex children is to have a padding on the left and right sides. So 0 for the top and bottom, and maybe 10 for the left and right sides. Okay. Now for the content, I'm going to have a black background. So dot content. Okay. I'm just going to cut this. Okay. Paste it here. Have a width of 100%. Okay. And let's see how that looks. Okay, good. Also maybe a height of 100%. So height of 100% as well. Good. So you can see if I take away the border on the flex children, it will create an illusion of space where it looks like everything is spaced out, but it actually isn't. Okay. So this is one way to go about it. The other way, however, okay, is to bring this back. Okay. Change this width. Just take it down a little bit. Okay. So let's say I want to create multiple rows. Okay. So copy all this, paste it. Okay. So we have all these. Why is everything displaying this way? Let me quickly change this. 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Go back to my CSS. Make this 25%. Okay. Good. Why is everything displaying in a row when I want only 4 items to display in a row? Okay. That's because there's a property we have not added. We have to tell our Flexbox to wrap. Wrapping is taking it to the next line. So let's see how that displays, however. So we want 4 items. How come we have 3 items in a row? What do we then do? So we come to our flex children and we change the box size into border box. By default, it's set to content box, which adds up padding to the minimum height. So let's say we specify that the flex child be 25%. Now we've added padding. Now the flex child is going to take up space of 25 plus the padding that we added. So basically, box sizing controls the height and the width, how that is done, the behavior of the height and width. So now we have everything how we want it to display. Okay, good. So what is the next thing we do? Okay, we have this ready. Yes, so I was going to go on to the next way I space out elements with flex. Okay, if you're not going to use this illusion of padding, what else can you do? Okay, So what I was saying was, you can make this a little bit low. You know, if every element, or if every child element is 22, that means there's no way a fifth element can come here, but there's enough spacing to space everything out. Okay, so now you can take off this padding with our width of 22. Now we come back to justify content. Okay, sorry, we come back to justify content. Okay, we come back to justify content. What are we going to do here? Okay, so justify content, space around. What does space around do? Space around is basically spacing around. So left and right sides both get some space. Okay, now when you say space between, the space now comes in between the various children elements, and then we do not have spacing on the left and right sides, but only spacing between these elements. Okay, for I know you realize there's this. Okay, so I'm also going to go to my flex parents, and I'm going to also apply this right there, and let's see how that goes. Okay, so that space is taken away because now everything has to go within the flex parent. Okay, so now let's make this a bit responsive. Okay, I want to make this as practical as possible. So max width of, so I'm going to do the tablets max width of 900 px should be okay. So if that is the case, let's copy a flex children. Now the only thing that we need to tweak is our width. Okay, for starters. Okay, so with a max width of 900 px, what do we want to happen? We want two items to fit in a row. Okay, so let's make it somewhere 48% because there's no way a third item will fit. So this is what we have, you see. So now it becomes responsive on the tablet view. Okay, finally, for our mobile devices, which will have a max width of 50, we want it to fill up the entire space, so that will be 100. So when we switch to the mobile, that is exactly what we have. Now we have our spacing and everything right there. Okay, so basically that's the Flexbox for you. Thank you for joining this video. If you enjoyed it, like, subscribe and share. I'll see you in the next one, and thanks for all the support.